Unbelievable. Crazy. Eastern Bloc Air Guns is back with the field test on the newer JSB Hades 22 caliber 15.89 grain in the Edgun Lelia. This video I hunted three separate species, or I shot three separate species. One was a rabbit in my backyard at 5 yards. Talk about those results later. Second hunt was two squirrel um, last weekend, and the third hunt was on pigeon. I got 4 pigeon, all on film, um, with the all animals. I'll talk about the exit wounds and show footage of the exit wounds. So if you're squeamish, zone out right now. This is completely something absolutely, utterly disgusting footage. So if you're a liberal pussy, zone out. All right, the first one, I actually had a video on my last video, was the rabbit at 5 yards. And this is the only animal that I actually recovered the round. It was shot through the eye, traveled lengthwise through the body. I believe it ended up in one of the legs. I think it was one of the back legs, actually. And this is the only animal that recovered it, so I was able to gauge it. And when the flaps opened up, it was right around a 30 caliber. I'll show you that footage, and then we'll move on to the squirrel. All right, here's the footage. 5 yards in the backyard, right through the eye. Ended up in the back leg of the rabbit. Expanded to a 30, roughly a 30 caliber after the flaps opened up. The interesting thing about this rabbit didn't even twitch. No kicking, it just laid over. Here's the footage of it just laying there seconds after it's shot. It wasn't even a twitch. All right, here is the squirrel hunting section on the JSB Hades. I shot this footage 2 weeks ago up at the family cabin. And I did a quick zero, not knowing. I went out and just shot a couple pop cans or something. First, around 40 yards, I realized it was pretty much, the trajectory was pretty much close right on the 18 grain. There wasn't much difference. Maybe a tad bit higher, but when you got farther out, these JSBs, Hades, lose their steam faster than the 18 grainers. So the trajectory matches right around 50, I think it was. And then 75, these were a little lower. I didn't really pay attention to anything past that because I've never even shot a squirrel past 55 or 60 yards ever. So pretty much you can say you don't have to re-zero for these. These are lighter, a little flatter at the beginning, and past 50 yards they lose steam a little more than the 18 grainers and drop a little bit below, so they match the trajectory close enough. And here's the footage. I'll show you the first one. First one was at 26 yards. Second one was really close, about 15 yards. And the first one, I didn't show much footage of it because it's YouTube. It shot here, it came out here, completely gory, blood, open wound. Believe me, I'm not going to show everything, and I didn't show any close-ups on that one. The second one shot right through the throat or the bottom of the head, and I thought it got caught inside the squirrel, but it ended up passing through. There was a small hole, it wasn't very big, right in the back here. So after seeing that footage, I decided all JSB Hades at 30 foot-pounds are probably going to pass through a squirrel. And then I'll get to the pigeon later, what happened with the pigeon. All right, here's the clip one more time in real time. The shot was placed right at the bottom of the skull, where the jawbone and the throat are. I ripped the jaw apart. There's bone fragments from the jaw everywhere. The bottom of the jaw wasn't there. The throat was ripped wide open. I do have a photo coming up here. Luckily the leaf is covering most of it. The blood, but there's a huge gaping wound in there. And I have the recovery footage here, but I don't want to show too much, so I'll just keep it out.
JSB Hades.
You know, it's YouTube. That's all I can show. Alright, here's a clip of the second squirrel right underneath the chin. I'll show it in real time. Alright, I was just sitting there on this one and it came up from behind me and started barking at me, so I shot it. It was only at 15 yards and I hit it underneath the chin. And it doesn't look like in this video, but for some reason it must have ricocheted and went out the center of the back. There was no exit in the back of the head, so I thought I had a complete stoppage. I could get the pellet out, but it wasn't there. It was way farther back in the body. Alright, here's the footage of the wounds. I thought it wasn't a pass-through, but it was. Must have ricocheted inside the body. Look at that gaping wound. That's the entrance wound. It's gaping. It's crazy. The exit wound for some reason was a lot smaller. I don't know why. Alright, next is the pigeon hunt. I just completed a couple hours ago today. I got 4. The first one was phenomenal footage. Right in the chest. And it exited out the back. Dropped dead. Didn't even twitch. I think 3 out of the 4 didn't even twitch. Actually, did I get 5? No, 4. 3 out of the 4 didn't even twitch, and the other 2, one was a neck shot, completely gory, and the other one was a side shot. Went right through, and that exit wound on that one was absolutely insanely gross. I'm going to show it. So, warning. Zone out. I'm going to show the footage of these pigeons' exit wounds. Ugh. Disgusting. They all actually exited. Crazy. Here's the footage. Alright, here's it in real time again. I hit it right in the center of the chest, right where the breastbone is. It ended up shattering that big tough bone and went right through the middle of the back. You can see, watching this slow motion, you can see how the bird just jumps back. Here it is, I think, 10 times slower. The bird just jumps back after the impact. And you can see like waves, shock waves, as the pellet enters the bird. There's a big indentation and a shock wave, and the bird flies back a few inches. Look at that. Very impressive. I like it. Makes me happy to watch that. Alright, this one is at an angle from the side. And as you can hear from the last clip, it went through and hit the wood behind it. But look at how fast this one dies. There, it's done after a couple seconds. Here it is in slow motion, and then here it is in really slow motion. And this one, I'll show a clip at the end here, how the exit wound, just massive, unbelievable. I'll show that to you right now. Alright, look at that hole. This one is the exit of the one that was sitting at the angle. Here's the entrance. Here's the exit. Oh, gross. Here is the reason I thought I had 4 pigeon, not 5. I shot 2 back to back in the same take. There's one in the chest, and there's one in the neck. Both of these were massive. First one, you can hear the impact. The second one, you'll see the carnage. Alright, here's the first one in the chest. That might have been the one that I actually showed you earlier with the massive exit wound to the side. I'm not sure, I kind of get them confused. And this is the one with the neck wound. Boom, right in the neck. You can see. Here's the neck wound in super slow motion. I think it's 10x slower. The shot and the neck. I'll show some still photos of the carnage. It's crazy. Alright, this clip came out horrible. It was just too dark in that corner that the pigeon was in. But it was a massive solid hit. This pigeon did not even move. Here it is, I'm trying to enhance it, but just a blob. But that pigeon too just took the shot and didn't even twitch. It was crazy. At the end of this video, I'll show some clips of all the carnage, all the photos. I'll wrap it up here, and then the real guys who like gross stuff, hang on to the end. Alright, so that concludes the video. In conclusion, I am very impressed with these. These are the first hollow points or expanding pellets that I am going to use. I'm going to actually be using every time I need to shoot something, every time I go squirrel hunting, or every time I'm on a barn where I'm going inside a shed, or I'm at close range in town, or anything like that. I'm going to be using these and not the JSB 18 grains, just because they're more lethal. They don't travel as much. The BC is much the lighter, and then the BC is much worse, it appears. They really start nosediving past 70, 75 yards. So in conclusion, everything close range, you get the same accuracy as the JSBs, a little less wind resistance, and a little less ability to retain energy. But other than that, those are well worth the trade-offs. And these are, you got to go buy some, especially when they come out with 25s. All the guys with 25s, I have a feeling these are going to be huge sellers for JSB in the future for very, very long.